Lives matter that they want to be paid for being, slaves and all that?
Reparation.
You talking about well, I heard they passed in North Carolina. But it was it was a small little town in North Carolina that passed reparations for whoever's over there. I'm sure they'll try to do something out here in California. I think they already actually got a little board going that they're going to start looking into it.
That's when we, the Rafa, need to step up, protest, and I'm talking major, and turn around and tell them, no, nobody gave reparations until the Native Americans and the Mexicans get ours first. We've been going through this crap a lot longer, so I don't want to hear it. Because it's not fair, dog. How are you going to give a bunch of money to a specific group? This is the United States, a melting pot. How are you going to give it to a specific group?
Because right now they've got the white people with so much guilt.
So let me get this straight. While we're being guilt tripped into
Guys, people are talking about this video clip which is going viral. Yes, there are conversations online about this group of Mexicans planning to protest the idea of black reparations. Can you imagine? And it sparked a lot of reactions. Some people are confused, some are like, okay, what is this? And others are just watching it and thought like, wait, how did we even get here? Now, at the end of the day, reparations is a serious and complex issue tied to history, justice, and accountability. So a lot of people feel strongly that Black Americans deserve that conversation to be taken seriously without it turning into tension between communities. Social media definitely isn't helping either. It's amplifying opinions without always giving full context. So, yeah, people are reacting, questioning, and trying to make sense of, everything. Okay, let's get into the video. I've put together clips and stitches. Quick disclaimer, this video does not support any bullying or harassment. It's there for education purposes and of course to let you know what is trending on social media.
I 100% agree that the United States owes the black community reparations, and this is why. It's not about white people owing black people. It's not about white people being punished for the sins of our ancestors. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's about white people standing in solidarity with a community that has suffered grave, egregious injustices at the hands of the United States government. But first, we must decenter ourselves in this conversation, alienate ourselves from our privilege, and hold the United States institutions and systems accountable for the wrongs that they never rectified. From slavery to black codes, to convict leasing, to Jim Crow segregation, to anti-black housing policies, to mass incarceration, we have never rectified our wrongs as a country. If you look at our criminal justice system, 1 in 3 black males carry convicted felon label. That is a real stat. Is it because they're inherently evil, or they just need more personal accountability, or is there something larger at play? All the data shows, by every statistical measure, the black community has been disproportionately impacted by every institution or system in the United States, from education to healthcare to criminal justice system to banking to housing, which we still have de jure segregation in effect today. And when it comes to housing, neither parties are absolved from this because both parties were responsible for the de jure segregation that we see today. The New Deal by Franklin Roosevelt didn't invent the segregationist practice of housing, but it did institutionalize it. Restricting access to capital for black families while enriching white families, the big reason why we see the generational wealth gap we see today. And remember, public housing wasn't initially for poor people, it was for working class white families. But because of laws and policies implemented by the United States government, it reinforced segregation because public housing was to reflect the racial composition of the existing neighborhood. And we had redlining and gentrification of neighborhoods, the residual effects of all these policies that we still see today. Reparations is about rebuilding and investing in the black community. Our government was held accountable to some extent for the grave injustices that we committed, the atrocities that we committed against Native Americans. We were also held accountable for the Japanese internment camps. But the United States government never made good on its 40 acres and a mule to the black community. Everybody else got paid. The United States was held accountable for these injustices. I'm a convicted felon. I had to pay a debt to society, to the United States government, to the state of Florida for the crimes that I committed. I was held accountable. To this day, my past is still being used against me. In fact, if I were to go before a judge today, the first thing he would do is bring up my past and say it's probably a pretty good indicator of what my future will be. But we don't keep that same energy for our government. We don't hold them to the same level of accountability and to the same level of scrutiny. So if you're thinking to yourself, I don't know anybody, you're absolutely right. But our government does. And as citizens of the United States who uphold the Constitution, it is our duty, it is our responsibility to hold our government accountable. As taxpayers, as citizens of the United States, we all pay, not just white people. Anytime there's an injustice in the United States by a government agency, whether it's the police department, sheriff's department, any government agency, the taxpayers are always the ones that foot the bill. Why? Because in America, we believe in justice, or at least we say we do. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, I'm sure we can all agree that our government is corrupt. Stop allowing them to make us turn on each other. What better way to stand in solidarity with our brothers and sisters than to advocate to make right what has been wrong and never been rectified? People ask me all the time, what are my solutions to the problems that I speak on? Well, I can assure you that this would be a step in the right direction. This is the pathway forward. Reparations in America today.
The white people's whose stance is that they don't want to be held responsible or accountable for what their white ancestors did when referring to slavery probably had the most despicable and violent ancestors, because according to epigenetics, the lack of empathy derived from that. Those white people, I'll absolutely never have a back and forth conversation with them, because they're literally embodying a lack of empathy. There's no point in re-explaining slavery or what happened or any of those things. However, you could catch this smoke about Jim Crow laws. Ancestors typically refers to 3+ generations ago. Jim Crow laws are only 1 and 2 generations removed. You actually probably met your family members who were voting for and enforcing Jim Crow laws, because they were your parents and your grandparents. It didn't end until the 1960s on paper. And even after, on paper, Jim Crow laws ended in America, those practices still live. They still live today. Racial segregation is in the culture of America because of the Jim Crow era. I would argue that the Jim Crow era had more of an impact on the current state of being of the black Americans as a majority than slavery. The largest and most profitable banks, corporations, and universities were founded or started during Jim Crow era. They capitalized off of racial segregation. And that has negatively impacted black people the most. This is where the conversation of reparations, it is the most logical connection. This isn't a conversation about ancestors. Stop arguing with these people about slavery and start arguing with them about Jim Crow laws.
I hope black people will see reparations in my lifetime. But for one thing, I know that we all have the ability to experience the divine reparations. And I believe that that is the greatest starting place, because I believe that if we receive the divine reparations, that it will create reparations and the restoration in many of the other areas of our lives that we would be expecting from the government.
Well, it's so very funny that these Mexicans are making, rather taking a decision for a whole race. Black Americans have been through it and they deserve reparations. Before I get into my own opinion on this, you guys, I remember Dr. Uma speaking on, concerning the Epstein files, where, something about white folks really makes me laugh. Yeah. What I mean is, the Epstein files had kids and all being apt and stuff, whatever bad things that happened to those white kids on the Epstein Island. And guess what? That was for only a short period of time. Let me say it. Let me say it did not happen for long. But black people, uh, black children have been through it. Yeah, they've been subjected to pain. They've been subjected to segregation. They've been subjected to all different kind of discrimination. And here we are, people. We have people gatherings, Mexicans, and as well as white folks that I've seen trying to say that they don't deserve reparations. How did you feel about the Epstein files when you see those kids being uh, having those children uh, being subjected into that kind of pain? And whatever happened in the Epstein Island, it happens to black children. Nobody wants to speak on that. And I was so happy when I heard Dr. Oma kind of just call it out. This, you want answers to this. You never want answers to something that happened for years and decades to black kids. Yet you are only talking about white folks, white children being subjected to pain on that Epstein Island. And so it's kind of very, very funny how people feel that black people don't deserve reparations, because even Mexicans, even not only Mexicans, other minorities, they are right now where they are because of black Americans. Yeah. So they had to take the bullet. Black Americans had to take the bullet for other minorities to be right where they are, for the benefits, for them to enjoy even the benefits that they are enjoying right now in America. It's because black people had to take the bullet on behalf of them. So it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Just go on, tell me what you think about this in the comment section below.